Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the Wealthy Boss Show. I am your host, Mariah C. Christcomer. I am a personal fitness trainer, a yoga instructor, and a full-time director of donor engagement and communications for my full-time office day job. And I started meditating a couple of years ago, and I wanted to share some practical strategies, in specific 3 mantras that I personally use that are specifically crafted for the overworked entrepreneur, which most of us who are entrepreneurs probably consider ourselves overworked. So I began meditating about 2 years ago, and there's so many benefits for doing it, which, ranging from things like your immune system, keeping your immune system high, preventing diseases. One of my personal favorites is that it actually changes your DNA so that it slows the aging process. You can literally prevent wrinkles from it. So of course there's lots of wonderful global reasons that meditation is a good, healthy practice to get into. But more specifically for us as entrepreneurs and people who have a million things on our plates and a million things in our heads and at any given moment, then I think we really need to consider the benefit of taking up a meditation practice simply for the fact that it helps us calm the crazy. We feel better when we do it, and that's really important as people who are prone to a lot of stress. So I thank you for that, for those hearts. I'm glad you feel that way. It made me think of a quote that I recently saw on Instagram about yoga, and I kind of apply it to the same, kind of under the same umbrella. And it said, I do yoga because punching people is generally frowned upon. And so I totally love that. I don't meditate all day long because I feel calm. I meditate so that I will feel calmer. And as the saying says, not punch people in the face, and ultimately be a better business owner. Yeah, so I'm going to share with you some practical ways to get started tonight, Vaughn. And one more thing on top of that, as a personal fitness trainer and yoga instructor, there's a very scientific link between the amount of stress that we have in our lives and our ability to actually stick with our healthy intentions when it comes to things like fitness and nutrition and losing weight. There are a lot of biochemical processes that happen when we are under a lot of stress and not dealing well with that stress that causes us to crave more of those things that are bad for us and actually makes us hold on to fat storage more. So one more reason, especially for me as a personal fitness trainer, yoga instructor, health coach, one more reason that I think is really important as entrepreneurs who are dedicated to taking care of ourselves and our minds and our bodies to make sure that we are incorporating some type of meditation practice. I've done other trainings on how to get started in meditation. Tonight is actually going to be really hyper specific on 3 different mantras that I recommend, but I do recommend that you play with different meditation practices that work for you. There are a lot of different ways to get involved, and you can check out some of my past episodes if you want some more overviews for that. But whatever you do, I want you to make sure that it is a practical practice. That's why it's called practice. It's something that you can really do, that it's accessible to you, that you can repeat over and over. So, if you first dive into some meditation practices, there's so much out there, and so you can find some things that really feel like you don't connect with, like, if your mantra that you're reading that you should be repeating and dwelling on is something like, I bathe in an aura of bottomless love. Well, that might not help you that much in the moment when you're really frustrated with your Facebook ads and you need just a little bit of a drawback so that you're not about to go punch the wall or fire off nasty emails at the Facebook ads moderators, which I think I've done before. So we can all relate. We need to make sure that we are finding those mantras or those meditation practices that are really practical and applicable to us as entrepreneurs. So with that in mind, I want to share 3 mantras that I personally use as an entrepreneur that are really specific to my business, because a lot of what goes on in my head is related to my business. So I'm going to give you 3 kind of daily reflections that you can think on throughout the day, or you can focus on maybe in a concentrated time period. And then I'm also going to give you a bonus, a little tidbit, a little trick that I've been using at night when I wake up in the middle of the night that helps me go back to sleep. So let's start with the first mantra. This one has really been game-changing for me, and that is, there's enough time for all I want and need to accomplish and enjoy. I'm going to say that one again. There's enough time for all I want and need to accomplish and enjoy. This one I actually spent a little bit of time recrafting. At first I had been saying there's enough time for all I need to accomplish. And then I wanted to reframe that because my life, the reason that we are creating these lives for ourselves as entrepreneurs is we really want to be able to enjoy the lifestyle that we're creating, and I would like to get past that mindset of always just accomplishing. So I added that piece to it. There's enough time for all I want and need to accomplish and enjoy. So both are very, very important, and reminding ourselves that we actually do have as much time as anyone else. It may not feel like it because we have taken on so much, but reminding ourselves there's enough time for all that we want to do and enjoy really, really does help calm me down. But here's the thing. I swear, I'm not usually a big woo-woo person. I'm intrigued by the idea of manifestation and putting things out into the universe, but I'm not 100% sold on it yet. Maybe that will change. But I promise you, every time that I've really spent a significant amount of time reflecting on this mantra, and by a significant amount of time, I might mean 5 or 10 minutes in the morning before I start my day. Every time that I have used this mantra specifically, I get so much done that day. It's almost a little scary to me because, again, I'm not usually a big woo-woo person, but this honestly does seem to make a difference in the way that the rest of my day unfolds. So I'll say that one more time. There's enough time for all I want and need to accomplish and enjoy. I know you're going to love that one. It's going to help calm you down right away. Second one that's specific for entrepreneurs is I have everything I need to be successful. This one I think can trigger some floating doubt that always tends to be bubbling right below the surface for us as entrepreneurs, especially if we're in the early years of our business. We're wondering what we're going to be able to make of ourselves and this product and this creation. And there's always those doubts that lie underneath that, well, for whatever reason, we don't have what someone else has to make them successful. We look at them and we just think there must be something special about that person that they've done so many sales, or that person that they've gotten so much rapport so quickly on social media. We need to remind ourselves that we have everything that we need to be successful. And this really starts to downgrade a lot of the doubts and fears that start to fuel the anxieties that pop up as an entrepreneur. So I hope you enjoy that one as well. I have everything I need to be successful. This is a good one to kind of remind yourself throughout the day when problems come up and things that you didn't necessarily know how to handle right away. Maybe you've got to learn how to troubleshoot something you didn't know before. Yeah, so keep that one in mind. It's a good one to turn to when you get frustrated with maybe a skill that you didn't know how to handle, or something new that you're trying to learn, or something that's changed. And algorithms for social media change all the time. Remind yourself though that you have everything you need to be successful. My third mantra, specifically for entrepreneurs, is not exactly a mantra, but it's more of a check-in question, more of a reflection. And my husband and I will remind each other of this one when we get caught up in something and the big picture is probably small, but at the time seems really, really important. And that's actually comes in the form of a question. Will this matter a year from now? So I had to use this one today. I was actually, because I've been setting up a Mindset Mantra Challenge, which I will share more about at the end of this show, but I had set up a challenge for about a week. I'd been running it through our Facebook, our Wealthy Boss Facebook group, and put on, I think, some social media to invite people to opt in, get a text message with a daily mantra sent to them every day. And I was getting opt-ins, but I happened to see that there had been a tech glitch, so it looked like I was getting people checking in, and they weren't actually getting the emails that were supposed to go out with them. Something had flipped. I don't even know what happened, but something in the normal process broke down so that they hadn't even been getting what they needed. So first of all, if you are watching this and that was you, it's working now. I posted the link again, and we'll talk more about it at the end. So thank you for your patience. But it really, really bothered me. I just felt really embarrassed, and I've had a lot of new people inside our Wealthy Boss community lately, and I was like, I said some words that, maybe I won't put on the public profile. Maybe you need to be in the Facebook community group for me to share those with you. But then I took a step back. I said, really, is this going to matter a year from now? It's not going to prevent me from connecting with my audience in the long term. It's not going to be, oh, good, I'll tell you how in a minute. It's not going to damage my reputation for the end of time. It's not going to be this make or break situation that somehow, put the stamp of dissolution on my business forever. It's not. And then I got on my customer chat with lead pages, and they were able to eventually figure it out. And oh, lo and behold, I was even able to go back and get those email addresses that I had collected that I thought had gone off into outer space. So it all worked out, and I'm glad I didn't spend too much energy worrying about it, because it's not going to matter a year from now. And it actually didn't even matter as much as I thought it did at the moment. So will this matter a year from now? You can use that in anything, not just pertaining to business. It's a good one to keep in mind if you have kids, if you have basically anything that comes your way that can push your buttons a little bit. Will this matter a year from now? So those are my 3 meditation mantras to reflect on, whether you want to spend about 10 minutes just repeating this mantra with your eyes closed in the morning before you get going with your day, or if it's something that you want to recall and just think about throughout the day. You could even put it on the top of your to-do list so that you're reminded to think of it as you check in with that to-do list every day. I'll recap them again. So number 1 was, there's enough time for all I want and need to accomplish and enjoy. Second one was, I have everything I need to be successful. And the third one is the form of a question, will this matter a year from now? Just starting with those 3 mantras is really going to make a difference in the quality of your thinking, because although my jury is still out about manifestation and putting things into the universe, there is very concrete evidence that our thoughts and the thoughts that we choose to dwell on and bring up and focus on do start to become our reality, because they shape our decisions, they shape our attitudes, they shape our choices to continue to move forward and make good strategic decisions in our businesses. It gives us that energy to actually keep moving forward, and instead of letting all those frustrations or worries or fears or doubts overtake us. So I know that these will change the game for you as a business owner. And then I finally had a bonus for you that I wanted to share. I guess it is a mantra as well. It's something that I've been doing just recently, the past few weeks, when I wake up in the middle of the night and start to think about something, because we've had a lot going on. We're buying a house and lots of stuff to think about. I have been picking 3 words every night. And so the phrase always starts with I am. And so then I pick 3 words. So it could be something like, I am cozy, I am protected, I am loved. 3 words that help mitigate any fears, because those fears do often tend to be worse in the middle of the night. I think it has to do with the biological and evolutionary history of the nights being the time that we're most vulnerable for attack. And so we tend to make things worse than they are when we are waking up in the middle of the night, because I think biologically we're still on guard against making sure that there's not a lion out there getting ready to sneak up and attack us. So having those go-to, yes, our thoughts absolutely control us, change our thoughts, change our reality. Yes, thank you for sharing that, Bone. So what I love to do then is pick those 3 words every night, and they're different depending on what I need that night. And when I start to wake up, instead of letting my mind wander, because it will when you wake up in the middle of the night, and that's what really keeps you awake, I will repeat those 3 words, and they're going to be different every time, but I'm going to say I am, and then I'll say those words. I am cozy, I am protected, I am loved. And it takes just enough mental power to kind of recall those words in that state of being in between sleep and not sleep. It takes just enough strength. It's kind of like counting sheep, that my mind can't then attach itself to something else. But those words also soothe me, and I really have been sleeping a lot better since I've been undergoing that practice. So I'd love to hear if you tried it, if that works for you. It's something that has worked for me, so I wanted to share that as well, because of course sleep is a huge factor in stress management and having the energy to do what we need to do in our businesses, as well as influencing whether or not we're going to make healthy choices in other areas of our lives. So I would love to invite you, if you haven't signed up already, to join the Mindset Mantra Challenge. And that challenge means that for every day for 1 week, you are going to get a daily mantra, and it's going to be texted to you So you have it right there to think of throughout the day. So it pops in at different times throughout the day, but it's one text message every day with a new mantra for you to reflect on throughout that day. You can sign up just by going to the main Facebook page. So if you're on my main Facebook page now, just click on the sign up button, and then you will receive your instructions for that then. So you still have to opt in on your phone after that, but you'll get all the instructions on that. So click the sign up button on my Facebook page. And if you have business owners that you love that maybe follow you on a Facebook page or in a group, I would love if you shared this episode of the Wealthy Boss Show with them, because I think this can really help them as well, and that's going to make a lot of happy bosses out there, a lot of happy, more mindful, wealthy bosses out there. So I appreciate you clicking that share button. If you are not already part of the Wealthy Boss community, I invite you to join our free Facebook community at wealthybosscommunity.com. It is a bunch of positive, really, really motivated entrepreneurs who are dedicated to staying ahead of their health. So making sure that they're physically, mentally, and emotionally doing everything they can to support their health, which in turn will give them more energy to pour back into their businesses, making sure that they can sustain the pace as an entrepreneur that it takes to really get them to where they want to be, because that pace can be grueling. It can really be tough. So I invite you to take part in that. And thank you, Vaughn. I did recently change the name, so if you're a little bit confused, I used to be Elevate Mobile Fitness, and I've recently changed the name to Wealthy Boss. That's spelled W-E-L-L, so wealthybosscommunity.com for the Facebook group, because I really feel like it encapsulates more of what I'm about. I'm about the entrepreneur as a whole person, body, mind, spirit, and I want to make sure that as you're running business and taking care of business, that we are taking care of you as well, because you are your business's most important asset. Thanks, everyone. Have a wonderful night. I will see you next week at 5:45 Mountain Standard Time for the Wealthy Boss Show. Take care.